For the half, anyway.
Do you know where the radio's at?
I'm assuming it's probably a little bit more north.
Extremely important, but the problem is you have to make sure you're not giving irrelevant information.
It's critical. It's the thing that sets this game apart from things like Battlefield and whatnot.
With your own squad, you need to have communication because, as I said, if you don't give people instructions on what to do, they're just going to go do what they think might be necessary at the time. And with the squad lead role, you're going to have more information than they do with your other squad leads communicating. So, it goes hand in hand.
It's essential. It's pretty much what the whole game is based off of.
Oh, it's very important, but it's appropriate to get the proper balance of it. Like, you want to communicate the right details, quick and to the point. Like, it's the difference between being able to understand it in 2 seconds and 10.
Definitely the most important thing in the game, honestly.
As a bare minimum, you absolutely need to have communication within your own squad.
When attacking, generally hit it from the best angle I know from previous attacks, things that I favored before. Defense, it's more about digging in and knowing about which spots are your strong points on a point. That's the kind of stuff you got to know during defense, where you should be looking. Other than that, you don't really need to do much. Shoot.
When I'm attacking a point, I try to use speed and surprise as much as I can.
If another squad is assaulting the point that I'm targeting, I will make sure that my squad does not stack on that squad's position and that we complement each other's positions and get overlapping fields of fire.
It's always circumstantial.
In a straight line, spread out. Sometimes a staggered line, so you got like overlapping cover.
Attacking, I like to use vehicles a lot, so generally using a vehicle as an overwatch kind of and pushing underneath that, using it as kind of like a base of fire. Defending, again, big on the vehicles, so just strong pointing an area that's easily defensible from the vehicle.
Attacking, I like to stay really quiet, ideally coming into the point before opening fire, and trying to rush whatever spawn points they have so I can get the upper hand on them.
I like to go in fast with few men and try to get a rally up on enemy foremost flags to try to stop their cap. Putting fobs and radios on points is kind of the best defensive maneuver right now, I think.
Extremely. One good vehicle can easily win a game. I've seen it multiple times.
It depends on the map, but the answer is they're pretty crucial.
Vehicles are extremely important, especially with the increase in the size of the maps lately with the latest updates.
Essential, I would say, at this point.
Vehicles are some of my favorite parts about Squad. Like, one of my favorite strategies, as you know, is highway patrol. Especially just one SPG and 250 cals. Nothing can stand up to that for long.
Vehicles, I think, are definitely one of the most important things of the game.
Vehicles are essential as heavy weapons platforms that don't quickly run out of ammunition.
A vehicle in the right place can be a game changer, and I try to use the least amount of vehicles as I can because of the tickets that they cost.
With a breacher class, things like that, there's so many possibilities I couldn't even fathom.
You're going to see more varieties of squads, and you're probably going to see more squads on the map as well.
I think the devs have mentioned implementing a command role.
I think people will start utilizing certain squads more, like a helicopter squad, logistics squad.
It's generally going to stay the same. Like, it's going to be 9 people working together with one leader, and then hopefully it doesn't fragment to much smaller than that.
Obviously, smaller squads, more specialized squads, tank crews, helicopter crews, logic crews, whatever you can think of, honestly.
I imagine that the squad itself isn't change too much, but will become more flexible in what we're able to do.
OWA knows what they're doing, and the V10 update is it's going to be a pretty big one, so I don't know what kind of tricks they have up their sleeve. They could, I don't know, they could change everything completely, but I think how it stands, squads are in a pretty good place right now, and I think going into the future, they'll definitely only get better.
I also think that should be implemented. I'm just not sure how exactly. I think it'd be very interesting to have somebody command over the entire map.
I don't really know what a team leader can bring to the table right now that like squad leaders can't do.
Having another level of leadership is a really good way to keep squad leaders organized and on their relevant cap points.
I could do the role, but I wouldn't enjoy doing the role as much as I do enjoying it as a squad leader.
I think like having the squads really work together right now is part of the charm of squad.
I think a commander role would be really beneficial.
I don't think a team leader or commander role is needed, since it relies on people coordinating together, working together, and just being agreeable anyways.
As long as the commander or the fire team leaders don't kind of make the squad leader role irrelevant, because the game is called squad, it's not called commander.
Nothing that I haven't seen suggested before, or I haven't read that they're going to already add to the game.
One thing that I know the devs have said they want to add that I think would be pretty cool is going to be like an inventory system, so that you can kind of mess around with some of the customization on your kit.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to helicopters. I think that's just going to be really interesting, having a whole other way of transport.
I love the game as it is. It'll just keep getting better, you know. Shit will just surprise me.
Just building on the heavy fist idea of the U.S. and the Russians. So I hope the U.S. and the Russians, they're going to get helicopters and stronger armor and stuff, and that really makes the kind of hit and run, stealth, ambush, and sneak attack tactics of the insurgents that much more necessary. And I think they should be amplified to be made that much more deadly.
Nerfing rally points would be something that should be done, because the way they are, they're really, really strong.
To have the scout kit able to actually mark at least like one target.
A way for players to kind of vet their squad leaders or vet other players, so they know that individuals take their roles seriously.
Okay, this is the last one. Is there any advice you'd like to give to new squad leaders?
My advice to new players to the game of squad is kind of generic, not entirely. I'm sure they've heard it before, but that is, take your time when playing squad. It's not a very straightforward game. Learn the kits, learn how they function and kind of how to use them. And follow your SL, even if he is bad, because he can always get better. And even if you mess up and your squad messes up, you can still learn from those mistakes. And that's really what makes new players or people with not very much time turn into good players. So always try your best to be a team leader, learn from those mistakes. But the number one kind of thing to take away is ask questions, please. No one can help you have a more fun time or learn the game if they don't know that you don't know what you're doing. So the community of squad is fairly open. There's a lot of friendly people in it, and they're willing to help give advice to new players. And as an experienced SL, my number one hope is that if you join my squad and you don't know what you're doing or need help, that you will at least ask questions. Because the more you know, the easier my life is, the easier your life is, and the quicker we can all kind of enjoy the game.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed part 2. If you missed the first part, the link's in the description. This footage in the background is from an upcoming interview with someone on Legacy's staff. Make sure to go check out Legacy. I couldn't have done this without their staff's help. And if you're interested in one-life events or basic training events, I'm sure they'd love to have you. Apart from that, I'll see you guys in the next one.
As a contractor in Afghanistan, where we did a lot of motorcades